Part of the show? Every moment of every show is available in podcast form by searching Hans and Scotty on your favorite podcasting platform or online at KSLSports.com. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Merry Christmas, everybody. You and I will be on the air on Monday calling games, and then we'll be off the rest of the week.
Which is like a Christmas present for us.
Yes, and a Christmas present for our listeners, too.
One more go with Greg Wrubell at the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Love my time with Greg. Love my time with Mitch. By the way, just a shout-out to BYU fans, Cougar Nation. Thank you for taking me in.
Wow. Yeah,
and thanks for being so kind.
Yeah, they've treated you like gold. Oh. And just even because I'm remotely close to you, like, I'm getting, like, positive strays coming my way from BYU fans. Like, hey, you know what? Hey, I listen to Hans because he's on the broadcast, and you don't suck that much anymore.
Oh, that's not true. That is.
And I'm like, hey, we'll take that.
Nobody's ever said that. I've been riding your coattails for 12 years. But I got to tell you, man, I love being a part of that broadcast, love calling these games with Greg Wrubell, and he treats me good, man.
Yeah.
He treats me good. Like, every trip is laid out. It's like, just don't screw it up, Hans. Everything is set up for this to be a great broadcast. Just don't mumble, you moron. That's all they're asking me to do, Scotty.
Shehan Jeyarajah, one of our favorites, CBS Sports, kind enough to join us. Shehan, how are you, man?
Hey, Shehan.
I'm doing well. Yeah, another tip for broadcasting, make sure that you know when the mic is still rolling. It sounds like our friends out in Philly might not have noticed.
Oh. Wait, I haven't heard the story on this.
I have not heard this either. I'm sorry. We've been running it. We're at the road home raising money here at the homeless shelter, and so we're kind of out of the loop. What's going down?
Just after this is over, after you guys are done broadcasting, look up Philadelphia Flyers broadcaster. It is something else. It is something else.
Oh, no. Shehan, Scotty and I have been doing this for a better part of 20 years now, and each of us have had our little fun in the sun. And
with open mics, yep.
But I got to tell you, I got to give a shout-out to my boss and my producer, but more importantly, my boss, who's back in the booth. He has never, not one time in 17 years on air together, almost 18, Shehan, Lloyd Cole has never made a mistake. So big shout out to my boss.
Yeah. I love it. It's the best.
That gives me the heebie-jeebies just thinking about it, though, for sure. Because we always say that we're going to mind our P's and Q's off the air, and we never do. We say some stuff, and I'm like, so help me if that mic is live. Well, anyway. Yeah. All right, so what bowl games really have you fired up? Like, what's your 2 or 3 bowl games you look at, non-playoff related, that you're like, you know what, I can get behind that one?
Ooh, that's a good question. Honestly, I mean, first of all, like this has definitely been a weird bowl season. Like, I feel like I'm like less aware than I've been in previous years. But you know, there's a couple that come to mind. I'm really excited for that TCU versus USC game, in the Alamo Bowl. You know, obviously TCU now will be without their quarterback, which obviously is a little unfortunate, but I still think that has the potential to be a really important game for both these programs. Obviously, Lincoln Riley going back up against another Big 12 team, opportunity, I believe, to get to 10 wins. That would, I think, be a pretty good moment for them. You know, I'm really interested to see how Houston handles themselves against LSU in the Texas Bowl as well. I promise I'm not just picking Texas teams, but you know, that one's going to, I think, be a big one. Oh, but actually, I will admit, I glanced at the schedule just to remind myself. The Pop-Tarts Bowl between BYU and Georgia Tech is going to be so much fun. These are 2 programs that I just love covering. 2 quarterbacks in Bear Bachmeier and Haynes King who are just fantastic to watch. And by the way, 2 coaches. So I am excited to see the content of the 2 of them together. That is going to be, I think, a lot of fun.
Yeah, I got to say this about Shehan, Scotty, because I bumped into him around the food during the Big 12 championship game.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if there's anybody out there that loves his job more than Shehan.
And by the way, I would imagine he was dressed to the nines, too.
Oh, yeah. All the duds. Look fantastic. But you love what you do, Shehan. You can just hear it in your voice. Is this a dream job for you?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's funny. People ask me if this is a dream job. This is a job that's so cool. I couldn't have even dreamed like that it existed. You know, it's just getting to hang out, watch college football, talk with people nationally. I mean, like, how cool is it, right? I get to jump on the radio in Salt Lake City when I'm sitting here in Dallas and talk to good folks, man. It's a cool job. It's a cool opportunity, and I always say it's better than having a real job.
Yeah.
So
the first time I ever talked to Shehan is when Matt Wells got hired at Texas Tech,
Yeah.
and you were hosting a podcast and then also doing writing for it's the Football Institute.
Dave Campbell, Texas football.
Dave Campbell, Texas football, which is like the football Bible in Texas. And so I've known Shehan ever since. So it's been kind of fun to sit back and watch your growth in the industry as well, where you're going to these games and covering them. And, you know, we talk about this BYU Georgia Tech game, and there's a lot of BYU fans out there that were really hoping for college football playoff. That didn't happen. Then they were hoping, all right, well, let's play Notre Dame in a bowl game. Well, that didn't happen. And so Georgia Tech seems like, you know, it's Miss Congeniality Award, when in reality Georgia Tech could put it on you if you're not careful, and if you're not on your game, it could get ugly in a hurry.
No, absolutely. You know, the big thing, right, for BYU was I was definitely frustrated when Notre Dame dropped out, because I was really hoping that they'd get an opportunity against, like, a big brand, right, an opportunity to kind of prove themselves, that everybody would be watching. But if you want to talk about pure football games, like, this one is going to be one for the ages, right? Because you've got two teams that are very physical, love to run the ball, have quarterbacks who are fearless, have coaching staffs who are fearless. Like, there's a reason that Georgia Tech was on the cusp of the ACC title game for most of the season. And you even look at the way that they handled Georgia, not just this year, but last year, going to, 8 overtimes, 9 overtimes. Like, this is a team that does not back down. And I think that actually they're going to find that about each other, right? Like, both these teams are going to throw some shots. They're going to throw some punches. And absolutely, I mean, if they don't come with their A game, this could be a long day.
Shehan, I'm thinking that JMU, Tulane, and Miami might end up changing the course of how we put together the 12-team playoffs. Do you see any of those three competing at all? I'm worried Miami might be the biggest blowout.
I actually think that Miami's going to hang pretty well. I actually think that could be a potentially really, really interesting game. Because the big thing about it is that, I mean, I think you could make the case that these are two of the top 3 or 4 trench teams in the playoff this year. Like, Miami's offensive line, I would make the case is probably the best trench team in the playoff. And then defensively, Ruben Bay and Akeem Mesidor. Then on the other side, you got Trey Zune at left tackle. You got Armaj Reed Adams, Cassius Howell at pass rush. Like, these are two really, really good trench teams. And I think that if Miami's able to protect, which is no guarantee, like that, this is a really, really good Texas A&M defense. I mean, they have the playmakers outside to cause some issues for this Texas A&M defense. Texas A&M is a lot better in the front 7 than they are in the secondary, I would argue. And then, I mean, you know, the other way, right, too. Like, if they can get to Marcel Reed and they can make mistakes, I think this game has a chance to be a really, really good one.
Ooh, I like it, Shehan. I like it. And I'm feeling like there's got to be like an itemized, like, first in line at the buffet next time we see each other. Put on this game. Okay, so I'm just looking it up. The line right now is Texas A&M -3. Will you give me the -3, and then when we get to the buffet line, you got to let me go first?
Sounds like a plan. Now, I will say I did pick Texas A&M to win and cover, but I'll at least grant you this privilege.
Okay, awesome,
nice.
Because I would love it. I'd love to be like, oh, excuse me, Shehan. I'll be getting the dry turkey first.
Yes, let me get that hot dog before you. Shehan, what's the best stadium or the best home stadium, not bowl game, but a home game you've been to? What's been the best one that served the best pregame meal?
Best pregame meal. So it was at Kyle Field, actually, which is probably the best. So I've primarily been around, sort of Texas, Oklahoma, most of those stadiums, right? And Kyle Field is definitely like the most fun environment also that I've covered. But
Agreed.
I covered. I believe it was actually the year of the 7 overtime Texas A&M LSU game, and that was a Black Friday game, and they actually had a full Thanksgiving spread, like turkey and pie and like everything. So I've never had anything that touches that.
Yeah, we were when Utah State played at Texas A&M this year. We were, we're looking around. We're like, oh, we're not in the Mountain West anymore. This is they're playing. They brought their A game on this one.
Different world.
Oh
man.
yeah.
Hey, Shehan, we were talking about teams that have got punked a little bit, and I think one of the worst matchups that we're seeing, and maybe one of the teams that got the most punked, would be the University of Utah at 10-2, getting a Nebraska team that I feel is completely disassembled and is going to really struggle in this game. Tell me what you thought about the 10-2 Utah Utes, and give me a thought on Nebraska, and try to pump me up so I feel like showing up to this game, because Scotty and I are thinking about making a road trip to Vegas for this one.
Well, I mean, look, first of all, I think that getting to be there for the final game of the Kyle Whittingham era, that's a pretty special thing, regardless of what ultimately happens. I mean, if they win that game and he goes out with 11 wins, that I think is a cool moment regardless. The other thing, too, though, is that I think that this Nebraska team is, obviously they're down so many of their top players is the tough part, but they've got that freshman quarterback from California who's a little bit interesting. TJ Latif, I think is the kid's name. And, he's got a little something. I think that he could potentially be a sort of future face of this Nebraska program. And, of course, they're a defense-led program. I think that they're going to have a good game plan schemed up. I think that they're going to be ready for this matchup. But, if you have to ask me, I think that it probably is a Utah plus, 10-plus point victory.
So Kyle Whittingham stepping down at the University of Utah, but said yesterday that he, if somebody calls and he's interested and they make a good pitch, he's open. And if Michigan were to call, I'm sure he would take a long, hard look at that. So what's the market like for Kyle Whittingham, who's in his 60s but brings a tremendous resume to the table? If you're an AD, are you giving Kyle Whittingham a call?
So I think that this probably ends up being a Michigan or bust situation. And the reason that I say that is, one, it's the only power conference job open at this point. I don't think that he would take sort of I guess you could call it a second-tier opportunity. Two, I think that his skill set, obviously, as a culture builder, as a program builder, is so strong. But, if you are a program in a normal situation, let's call it, I don't know that you want to try and guarantee yourself, hey, is Kyle Whittingham still going to want to do this in 3, 4, 5 years, right? I think that is a complicated situation. Now, if you're Michigan and you're trying to just get through a period of time and you want somebody to stabilize and elevate and get you back into national contention, I think that this is something that can make a lot of sense. But, if I was let's just say, for example, that Jed Fish leaves Washington to become the head coach over there at Michigan, and that job's open. I think it's worth having a conversation with Kyle Whittingham to see, can you establish some of what Utah's had over there? But I also, would also want to evaluate other candidates that are obviously less qualified to see, look, is this somebody who I think will still be the face of our program in 5 years? Because I don't know that Kyle Whittingham would be.
Shehan, how deep is the trouble there in Michigan? Because I've heard that some of the delay in hiring and interest and noise is there may be a few more firings in the front office. So how bad are things there at Michigan?
Well, they've publicly said that Ward Manuel, their athletic director, is going to make the hire. And I think that's a big first step, because certainly there's been a lot swirling around him throughout this whole process. But I think that the other thing, too, is there are active investigations going on in this athletic department from independent reviews, and we'll see if there's more criminal wrongdoing as well. And if you are a good coach in a good situation, I don't know that you want to step into this, right? I don't know that you want to leave a good situation to step into what should still be a really good job. And I think that, honestly, Michigan in this moment where money is kind of everything, this is a good job, but do you want to be the guy who has to deal with this? I think that's, for example, to go back to it, why the Whittingham thing makes some sense, because it's you don't have to compete with his situation, because obviously he doesn't have one right now, and also this could be a short-term thing to get you through a difficult time in your program. So it's tough. I think that, again, There was the Kalen DeBoer smoke at Alabama. I mean, we've heard in the past that Kalen DeBoer really does love the Michigan job, but he's also got one of the great jobs in college football. Obviously the Jed Fish thing we've talked about, but the list of coaches that make obvious sense is kind of short, honestly, in this moment.
It is. I think about this too, Shehan. I can bring Kyle Whittingham in, and he's already shown that he can groom a head coach and that he surrounds himself with great personnel, because he was obviously handing the throne now to Morgan Scalley, who he essentially raised. Not only that, I think that his body, his mind is in great health. I also think he's probably got a bit of a chip on his shoulder that he wants to show I can do what I did anywhere. I just think for Michigan, and to throw in the fact there's no buyout. I mean, How many times in your life as a hire are where you're bringing in a prominent name that has got to be in the top 15, top 20 all-time college coaching conversation, to be able to bring him in without a buyout? I just think it's a no-brainer, Shehan. I'm hopeful that Michigan will take a good look at him.
Yeah, no, I think that it's mixed, right? Because I'm sure there's a lot of listeners out there who are like, I don't want to see him in another shirt. I don't want to see him leading the University of Michigan. But I think that also for him, there has to be that piece of, well, what would it be like to have elite level resource, right? To have a blue blood program behind you. I mean, Utah is obviously a program that, from 2000 to today is one of the fastest rising programs in the history of college football, right? To see, going from sort of a middle tier Mountain West program to where Urban Meyer took them, to where Kyle Whittingham took them, to then the Pac-12, then to the Big 12, it's pretty unbelievable. But Michigan is one of those programs that was doing this thing in 1917, right? This is one of those programs that is the winningest program in the history of this sport and has unlimited money available. I don't know. I mean, if I was Kyle Whittingham, I'd be pretty intrigued by the possibility of at least getting to try this as a coda to my career.
So up until about 17 years ago, or up until about last 3 years ago, I've been doing this for about 20 years. And so for 17 years, the running joke was that BYU was sitting on a treasure trove of money, but never did anything with it. And that they ran things so cheap, and that they were all about being as frugal as they possibly could. And now that NIL's upon us and they can spend, they're spending like crazy. So how much does it resonate across the world of college football when Penn State comes from a coach and BYU says, no, yeah, we're going to keep him, and we're going to pay him what he's worth and what market value is, and we're going to give him what he needs. And he says, no, I'm going to stay at BYU. Everything I can get here financially at Penn State, I can do at BYU.
Well, this one is so fascinating, right? It's for so many reasons. And, obviously people out there, would sort of know the culture of it. But it's for a long time, like you said, I mean, Kalani Sitake was one of the lower paid coaches in this conference, despite all the success that he's had. And I think that there are a lot of moments or an athletic department needs sort of a kick in the rear to say, if you want to be serious about this, this is your moment to prove it. And I think that hiring Kevin Young as a basketball coach was one of those moments. And then retaining Kalani Sitake was kind of that final moment for the football program. Because, again, my colleague Richard Johnson over at CBS, he reported that the entire roster this year only cost $10 million, which is a crazy low amount of money. Now, I've heard some disputing of that, but, point is, this was not a very expensive roster to be going 11 wins and playing for a Big 12 title. And so I think that this has kind of been a long-term growth, right? Of look, we understand what football has done for BYU. We understand the stages that it's gotten us to, and we understand how important it is that Kalani Sitake has been at the front of that. So I think that this is kind of that moment now where it's okay, this is actually happening. We're actually committing to this.
Shehan, hope you have a great holidays. Look forward to catching up with you again here very soon.
Yeah, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Thanks as always for having me.
Thanks, Shehan.
You got it. Shehan Jeyarajah from CBS Sports right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Wow. Look who it is.
I know. So we've been talking about how weird it's going to be to watch Utah play football and not see Kyle Whittingham.
Yeah.
It will be weird if there ever comes a year where we do the Radio Home Mediathon and Celeste isn't with us.
Celeste, how are you?
Celeste is one of the nicest, most well-intentioned human beings on the planet, and we could not be more excited to be here with you.
You guys are far, far, far too kind. Thank you for being here. It is such a big deal to have you guys here. All the funds that we raise this time of year, we make them last all year long. So thank you for being here.
I know you say that to Rebecca, and you mean it with her, and you don't mean it with us. But that's totally cool. We'll take it.
I know you just said that to Rusty Keys and to Sue. But
I love all of you guys, and you all feel like family, honestly. I mean, I was away for 8 years. I was in Texas, and I just came back this year, and it never felt like Christmas in Texas. But being here at the Holiday Mediathon, it feels like coming home.
Hey, just so you know, Scotty and I were still here through the 8 years.
Yeah. I am so excited about that.
Yeah, we were still here. How far does this go back for you, Celeste? When was your first year with the Radio Mediathon?
Oh, I think it was in 1991. I was 2.
Yeah. Yeah, just starting.
We were all
us too.
Yeah.
A young second grader trying to get.
Yep. Just trying to raise some money for the shelter.
When you come back here to help out, what does this? I mean, this is your life. It's in your blood. It's in your DNA. The road home. You've seen some rough things. You've seen some great success stories. But just if you can, just what does this place mean to you personally?
When I came back to Utah, there was no question in my mind that the only organization that I wanted to be a part of was the Road Home again. It is an incredible organization. The work they do is life-changing. I see people change their lives every single day, and I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to work here.
Since you left and you've come back, how much dire has the need gotten? Has it changed a lot?
The need has certainly grown, and certainly I would say different segments of the population have changed. So, for example, families are one of the biggest growing populations, segments of the homeless population, which is heartbreaking. We had 200 kids last night sleeping in our shelters here at the Road Home. The good news is most of those families will only stay for 90 days or less. They'll get back on their feet, and they'll never, ever experience homelessness again. But it's sad that they have to experience homelessness even that single time.
So David James and I, back in our old K-Fan days, I can't even remember the details of it, but we did a fundraiser, and it was straight cash. And so DJ and I come to Celeste's office, and I've got this thick envelope just full of cash.
Oh, geez.
And she's like, "Hey, Tony Soprano, what are you doing here?"
So great.
It was. I mean, Celeste, it's just so great to see you here, and it's just so great to see you be a part of this, because we know it feels like Christmas when we have a chance to chat with you.
We're just so grateful, and it means the world to us that you come every year. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you to your listeners who are supporting us. You can still make financial contributions, in-kind contributions. Every little bit helps.
If you're doing an in-kind, like socks, like things that, like anything would be beneficial, right?
Socks, underwear, coats, and they don't have to be new. The underwear does. But if you've got kids grow out of clothes really quickly, bring them down to the shelter.
Lightly used coats, lightly used shoes, those kinds of things. You can absolutely use them. And, Celeste, I just think about the kids. I think about how much they need the warmth. They need the stability. And I know you've seen a lot of come and go.
Yeah.
And you've probably seen a lot of kids just need this place and need some help in that moment. I want people, whether you're thinking of the family or you're thinking about individuals that are just truly in need, as you're pulling out your wallet and getting out your credit card or sending your Venmo or firing out a payment for the road home, just remember the money is maxed out. Every dollar is pinched down to the penny.
Yes.
And that's something you've talked a lot about in the past, Celeste. Every dollar is really stretched as far as it can go. It's not headed out to administrative costs.
No.
You don't get 75% that's scraped off the top.
I like how you laugh on that.
Sorry.
It does not go to administrative costs.
No, but one of the things that is so important about this event is it is our biggest fundraiser of the year. And so we do have to make that money that comes in stretch and last all year. We're very lucky that we get a lot of in-kind items donated so that we don't have to purchase those items, which is huge for us. But the money makes a big difference.
Celeste, you're the best. Thank you so much.
You guys are the best. Thank you for being here so much.
Don't leave us again.
801-819-7300. That's 801-819-7300. Whatever you have would be well appreciated right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's time to saddle up and talk about the winners and the losers. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, here's the good.
Lloyd was making a Ron Burgundy joke in the break, and I guess apparently I'm Ron Burgundy because you could just play whatever. I'm like, oh, yeah, sports roulette. Let's
here we go.
Yeah, spin that wheel.
We got a good for you today because there's so much controversy surrounding the Nakuas.
Oh, well.
Well, people don't even know where to start with Puka. They're like upset at him for some anti-Semitic action, or they're upset at him for attacking an officiating crew, or they want to use some words that he said the boss man was upset. Well, it all came out after the game, the Rams' victory last night. The media goes after Sean McVay, the head coach of the Rams. They start with a question that Sean doesn't like. And Scotty, we talked about this. We talked about how great the SIDs are in this market. Some of the best.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everybody from Paul Kirk to
Doug Hoffman,
who's great at Utah State,
and
to our boy Brett down at BYU, and everybody in between. They're great. The one thing they don't want is to be caught off guard.
Yeah.
Same with head coaches. They don't want to be caught off guard. And it sounds like Sean was caught off guard here in some of those comments, Scotty.
Because Puka Nacua went right on Twitter. Apparently, they timed it out about a minute after the game was over. So he got right to his phone and sent out a tweet about his comments that he made previous about the officials and said, was I wrong? Those boys in stripes did it again.
Oh, I didn't even see the tweet.
Yeah, so he doubled down on the original tweet. And so
the original
one going
audio.
after the not the tweet, but the audio of him going after officials. And so the game's over. He hops on Twitter about a minute after the game's over and said, hey, was I wrong? The boys in stripes did it again.
Okay, so that's what they're hitting Sean with.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's Sean McVay getting caught off guard.
Out, kind of taking like a veiled shot there at the refs. I mean,
what are you talking about?
You just put something on Twitter a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, so what are you asking me right now?
Are you okay?
I can't answer questions about something that I'm not aware of.
Okay, but are you okay with players kind of expressing frustration over things like that? Or is that something that you hope that they kind of keep to themselves? And
I got to have more information before I answer any of those kind of questions.
What conversations have you had with Puka about his live stream this week?
Yeah, he was very apologetic. I don't think he understood the totality of some of the things. I think he issued that apology. I know this guy's heart, and for anybody that was offended, terribly sorry about that. I know he feels that same exact way. He's a young guy that's a great kid that's continuing to learn about, just the platform that he has. I love him. We're going to continue to put our arm around him and help him learn and grow. But we never want to do things that ever offend anybody, and I know he feels that same way.
How about those guys coming onto your property at the facility in a short week as you're preparing for the biggest game?
Yeah, I don't know anything about that stuff. They came on our property?
They outside parking lot.
He said on the live stream that you were mad.
I was? I don't think, no. Did he say my name?
He said, boss man. I assumed that was you.
It wasn't me. Yeah.
Did it feel like a distraction this week?
No, it wasn't a distraction at all. Did you think his play showed that he was distracted? I didn't think so either. He went off today. He didn't. And you know what? And I apologize for. You know what? I love this team. And man, when you put out as much as our group does, and you care so much about something, and you come up short, it's incredibly disappointing. But as it relates to just the things that you're asking, we always want to make sure that we handle ourselves with class, learn from it. I'll put my arm around him and continue to educate our guys. I love this team. I love his heart. I think he's going to continue to grow and mature, and I'm going to be there right there with him to continue to help do that.
It really was. The thing is, he had no idea that Puka went on Twitter afterwards, and I don't think anybody knew outside of the media members that had their phones with him and like, oh, geez, she just went off. And then here comes Sean McVay and like, hey, your guy just went after the officials. But the thing is, Puka Nacua, he had, 212 yards receiving, and what appeared to be at the time the game-winning touchdown until Seattle goes the length of the field, scores a touchdown, and then goes for 2 and wins the game. Essentially on the final game of final play, or in overtime, excuse me. And so it just, you have such a crazy back and forth game, but you can't put anything on the loss on Puka because he was just incredible.
He's incredible. Because the Nacuas have been in the news so much, I do want to say, and there's a lot of people I won't attach my name to, but, and look, the Nacuas aren't perfect. I'm sure. None of us are.
No.
But every time I've been around the Nacuas, oh, man, that's taking it next level holiday right there. Oh, man.
Wow. My guy.
Holy cow. He's the one that saw me at D's.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. So, everybody's got their skeletons, I'm sure. I will say, every time I've been around the Nacuas, every time I've interacted with them, and Coach McVay mentioned this, their hearts are in the right place. These guys are full of love. Now they're full of energy, and they're crazy. But everybody from Kai to Samson to Puka and to Tay, who I've covered this year with Brigham Young University, a wide receiver at BYU right now. Tay Nacua is going to be something special. I see their hearts, man. They've got great hearts. And this is coming from a guy that was one of the dumbest human beings on earth in that demo.
Yeah.
There's reasons I beg you not to ask Ryan Leaf questions, or beg you not to ask Kalani Sitake questions, or beg you. I was dumb. Did a lot of dumb things. And it's like, man, but their heart is there. Sean's right. Their heart is in a great place. Puka's a good dude, man. I don't know. Have you ever had a chance to talk to him?
Yeah.
He's a great dude.
Yeah.
It's just make sure you're hanging out with the right people.
Yes.
Why are you letting some streamers pull you into something stupid?
Yep.
Like multiple stupid things.
Yes. Yeah.
Just put the right people around you, and then you do got to recognize you've got a massive platform.
Yeah. And that, I know you've talked to youth groups and athletes. I've done the same as well. And it's like, hey, look, when you come on the air with me, or you come on the air with Hans, or you come on, you're doing a TV interview or whatever, talking to newspapers, you wouldn't say that. So why do you think you can say it on Twitter, where you can actually reach people a lot quicker on Twitter than you would on traditional media? But yet you get a little loose on Twitter, but you'd never say that to anybody in a press conference. So why would you do it on Twitter? And, all it does is just cause problems for you, or a live stream, or whatever the case might be. Like, you got to be on your guard 24/7.
But then there's a part of me that loves it.
Well,
I love hearing him just tear apart the officials. But you're right, because it's going to be a big fine.
He's going to get a fine, and then he's going to get it's going to increase another 50 or 60 based on the tweet last night.
Or more. Maybe a suspension. I don't know.
Yeah, because if you're Roger Goodell, you're already red hot mad about the first one, the live stream. Now he doubles down on it. You're like, all right, we got to send a message to this guy.
I kind of love it. But I get it.
I do too. As a media member, I love it. Yeah, absolutely. You want your guys to be honest and upfront, but you also know that they're going to come with a cost.
That dude is getting bigger than the game. Like, Puka is becoming a massive deal.
Yes.
A huge deal. Like, they're talking about him as a potential MVP.
Yeah. The only thing that's keeping him from being an MVP is that the quarterback that's throwing to him is probably going to end up being the MVP.
Yeah.
All right, Hans and Scotty, there's your good. Let's get to the bad.
Now the bad.
All right, big thanks to Shehan Jeyarajah for cueing us in on this. This is the Philadelphia 76ers, or not 76ers, the Philadelphia Flyers broadcast the NHL broadcast, and he said, just Google it, listen to the audio. Well, we have the audio. We got to beep it a little bit, but this is what the play-by-play guy said during what he thought was a commercial break.
Sometimes the Flyers get a sense of urgency when they're playing from behind. Now they're going to take the TV timeout. We'll take it as well. 7 gone in the third. It's 3-2 Buffalo on the Philadelphia Flyers Broadcast Network. Pump it up, it up, it up, it up. While you're down there, would you mind me?
I think we're still on the air, Tim. No, we're not, are we?
Oh, it makes me so uncomfortable and scared.
Hello, Edward. Ron, I've got to fire you. Well, I've got to fire you. Bing, bong, bong.
Oh.
You got poop in your mouth. You poop mouth.
Oh, it gives me...
Garth, if I gave you money out of my own wallet, would you forgive me?
It just makes me sick. Now, he's been suspended for 2 games. Fortunately, he did not lose his job because I hate guys getting fired for stuff like that.
Yeah, me too.
But he is being suspended for 2 games and will be on very, very thin ice going forward, I'm sure.
Yeah, man. It's, it's crazy. During the broadcast, especially during games, things get really loud and really confusing. Yeah. And, you're especially, for Greg or for you who's running play-by-play, and you've got to do ins and outs, and you've got all kinds of reads, and everybody's got these paid advertisement parts, and you're trying to be professional. You're trying to get through, and it's like you wrap up your read, and you go to break, and it's like, okay, finally, I can disconnect my brain for a minute. And sometimes you can get lost in it.
Yeah, and you got a crew of people around. You want to, make them laugh a little bit.
Yeah, you're just having
crack
fun.
a joke. And the other thing, too, like when we're in studio and we're looking at Lloyd, like we got the glass and we're looking at Lloyd and we can see, him doing his thing. And so we know we're at break.
And we got a button that goes from green to red.
Yeah,
right in front of us.
But when you're at a game in an arena, you're sending that signal back to a studio. So you have no eye-to-eye contact with the producer that's back in studio doing the thing, and so you're just at kind of their mercy, and you hope that they're doing the right thing, but you don't have a light saying you're on the air or off the air, and you just got to say, well, it's the Flyer Radio Network, and then you go to break. Because a lot of us, you and I, are the same way. We don't like hearing the commercials in our ear because we want to have a conversation. We want to talk about what we're doing next segment or whatever the case might be. And so we just assume that we're at commercial break because we're not listening because we don't want to hear the commercials in our ear while we're prepping for the next segment. And so we're used to not having that sound of the commercials coming back through us. And so we wouldn't know. Lloyd could gore us very quickly, and we would have no idea.
Yeah. Yep. But Lloyd would never do that.
Lloyd would never do that.
Because he's our trusted compadre.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Plus, if he did, we wouldn't be saying anything anyways.
No,
you guys are always really good.
Yeah, we're pretty tame. Everybody likes to think that we're crazy behind the mic, but we're not.
Oh,
we're talking about what deals we got at on garbage bins at Home Depot.
Deals.
Deals.
We're talking about getting a s'more Pop-Tart for $1.75.
Yep.
For you, ma'am.
That's about as raucous as it gets.
$1.75.
Yep.
Connor, why are you shaking your head, Connor? Come on, man.
Connor.
Connor, you can endorse this,
Just
right?
know what you're walking into here.
Listen, I think we can all agree s'more is not the best.
Oh, that's what he's going. I thought we all agree that you guys are off.
I've had conversations with my coworkers. I go, what do you guys think about the s'more, right?
It's
Brandt?
the best.
I can live without it. I said, I'm right there with you,
With the
Brandt.
s'more?
With the s'more.
Brandt.
What was Brandt's Pop-Tart of choice?
I think cinnamon, brown sugar cinnamon.
No, man, that's in the top 5, but that doesn't even come
No,
close.
not even.
Man, and this is tough, too, because this is coming from dudes that
I respect these guys.
smash Pop-Tarts daily.
Oh, yeah. These guys have the metabolism where they could go through 2 boxes and not even blink an eye.
Well, because I love Brandt Connor, I'm going to bring him back a box of the brown sugar Pop-Tarts from the Pop-Tart
Let's
Bowl.
go.
Be a special Pop-Tart day for you.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. I'm telling you, whoever's in charge of the Pop-Tart Bowl, you better have free Pop-Tarts for my guy because he's fully planning on smashing Pop-Tarts right and left.
And eating them in the lazy river with the head coach of BYU.
If you do not provide Pop-Tarts at the Pop-Tart Bowl, there's going to be a situation. Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.